Good evening everyone and welcome to TTL F2. This is Season 5, Round 4 here at the Circuit Paul Ricard in Le Castellet in France. And this is of course F1 2019, or F2 2019. This is of course TTL F2 and I am JamesHead14, your solo commentator once again here tonight. We are prepared for the action here. 15 laps await the drivers in the feature race, plus one shot qualifying of course, and then the top 8 of course get reversed in the sprint race, which will feature 11 laps. So 26 laps worth of action in both races here tonight. 11 in the sprint, 15 in the feature, and the feature race of course up first. And it was Schnitzel who took that race win in the sprint race last time out. In the feature was of course Afri in Monaco that took it. And focusing on the drivers' standings, Afri is still out in front on 104 points, leading the way in the Trident, with Spike in second in the Dams on 82 points, Siege in third in the Carlin on 75. Then there's a noticeable gap down to Navy, 37 points for Navy in fourth, and he's in the MP Motorsport. Mays in fifth in the Univertosi, 31 points. Laronix and Schnitzel tying for sixth in the BWT Arden and Prima respectively. They're both on 25 points. Sean in eighth on 22 in the Campos racing car, and we've got Cooper and Casper tied for ninth in the Dams and the Carling respectively, and they're on 18 points. Going down the rest of the field, Maximus and Gort in the Sauber Junior and the Univertosi, 17 points each. Honey in the Art on 12 in 13th, Oman Barry in 14th on 10, Andy in 15th on 6, Taze Leroy in 16th on 4, 17th is S. Graham on 1, and Alan Kay still yet to score points. Maybe tonight is his night to score points. He's on the Trident and he's on the fabled nil point at the minute, but I'm sure he will be able to score some points before certainly the halfway stage of the season arises, which will be next week of course in Silverstone. And coming on to the constructors, very tight in terms of the constructors. Trident on 104 points, leading the way. Dams in second on 100 points. Carlin in third on 92 points. 12 points separating the top three constructors out on track coming in tonight, so keep an eye on that through the sprint and the feature races here tonight. Univertosi in fourth on 48 points, with MP Motorsport in fifth on 38. Sauber Junior team by Charoux in sixth on 30. BWT Arden in 7th on 29 points, Prima in 8th on 26 points, Campos in 9th on 22, and Art Grand Prix on 19 points down at the bottom of the field. And I'm just going to find a quick track map for France. That is the one thing that I've failed to get tonight, is a track map. Absolutely fantastic. It comes to show I've been quite busy. There was due to be a trial, a TTL F2 trial before this. Those people didn't show up within the time allocated, so practice session was run instead. And I am just trying to find my track map of France, but I don't know where it is. I might have to quickly go and get one. Hang on a minute. I do apologise about my unprofessionalism here, but yeah, this is a bit of a thingy for me, but here we go. Let me get my track map up and I can talk you through the track here tonight. Circuit Paul Ricard, of course, at the Castellet in France, and there are 15 corners awaiting the drivers here tonight. 2 DRS zones, one on the start-finish straight between turns 15 and turn 1, and down the big straight, the big long straight separated by the chicane, turn 7 and turn 8, that is between as well. Some very difficult corners for the drivers to actually get accredited to here tonight. Obviously with the DRS zones it is going to be quite tricky. It can be quite condensed, especially going down into turn 1. Everyone's going to have their wits about them, both in one-shot qualifying and in the 50% races here tonight, the feature and the sprint race of course. Feature up first, sprint second race, which you'll be seeing here tonight. And Paul Ricard of course, famously, they've changed the pit lane here. So anybody that's wanting to come into the pit, don't try and go onto the start-finish straight and then decide to try and come into the pit, because you won't. You'll hit the wall and you'll probably end up retiring out of the race, I would imagine. The pit lane now is after turn 14, so the left-hander at turn 14, there is a section where you can go off the track quite nicely actually out on track, so you will be able to get rid there. with a view to the trials that were supposed to happen this week, they will be rescheduled. For those who were supposed to be there this week, because of the non-attendance, we will be rescheduling that for next week. I will just confirm that on stream now for the benefit of everyone. So that will be organised next week, and that will be hosted by either myself or somebody else. I imagine it'll be hosted by me. Just looking at the comment section. Hello to Lyronix in the comment section. The only comment in the comment section so far. Come on, we can have more comments than that. We've got 12 drivers though out on track. Honey Badger, Lyronix, Sean, Alan K, Andy, S. Graham, Maze, Casper, Maximus, The Goat, Navy and Afri still to do battle here tonight. No Schnitzel after his debut last week. So no sprint race winner from last week. From Monaco, of course, that was. And there will be a few changes in TTL F2 in terms of the driving as well. There are a few spaces that have came available now within TTL F2. So if you are joining and you're brand new to watching this TTL F2 and you want to get involved, there is a waiting list, but you will be trialled out next week. So please message me if you are interested in joining TTL F2, and we will get the others that were supposed to show tonight for the trial. They will be coming next week as well, and that will be organised much more effectively this week. Well, next week, I should say. Looks a bit overcast here in France at the Circuit Paul Ricard. Of course, the F2 drivers will be doing battle round here. Apologies about my slight interruption there. I was taking a drink, but we should be getting going for one-shot qualifying very soon indeed. Obviously, with a view to the championship, there are quite a few drivers here that are within championship contention. Afri currently leading the way, Spike in second, Siege in third, who has just joined and has sadly missed out, I do believe, on both races. I'm not sure if he can join in the feature race here. We'll have to wait and see. We're on board though with Afri, current championship leader, on the run down towards turn 1. Difference in opinion on time to the tyres, softs and hards here tonight. As Afri now comes down into turn 1, the German attacking turn 1 nicely, now through turn 2. Very nicely there. Honey Badger just ahead of him out on track so far. Maximus and S. Graham right down the bottom. Lyronix also on hards as well, because these guys will have free choice of tyres as they come after the end of one-shot qualifying and into the race. Now down to turn 5, through the first sector he goes. 28.6 through the first sector for Afri. S. Graham has already retired from the session, must have had an invalidation out on track. Afri now through the kink of turn 7, now running down this kilometre-long straight, split by the chicane between turns 8 and turn 8 and 9, which will be the chicane he's approaching now at the end of the straight. Honey Badger now just coming towards that in front of him, but Afri through turn 8 and 9 very nicely indeed, and then the exit of turn 9 now flattens the power down up into a very high 6th gear. Let's see if he can take this flat out. I have a feeling he won't be able to. Afri lifts off slightly, loses a couple of miles an hour turning in, but not much, as Honey Badger's dropped to the back, so it must have invalidated his time somewhere, possibly out of the chicane, which means Afri now currently leads the way out on track. Casper's right behind as well. Casper being put in the practice this week, looking good. Afri just in front of Casper at the minute, coming towards the end of the lap through turn 12 and 13, now through the left-hander at 14. There's the new pit lane on the right-hand side. Afri coming through into turn 15 now, the final corner for Afri. Looks like he's going to be setting pole position, but what sort of lap time is it, and how far is he clear of the rest? Afri across the line, 143.8, and he's about 7/10 ahead of Casper there with a 144.5. Honey Badger, as I said, invalidation on that lap and getting disqualified from the session. Clearly must have cut the final chicane to try and get the lap time uninvalidated, but there we go. Afri takes it by 6/10 of a second, nearly 7/10 of a second. Casper in second, good qualifying performance from him, with Navy in third. Gort in fourth, good showing from him. Sean in fifth, Lyronix on the hards in sixth, Andy in seventh, Alan K in eighth, Mace in ninth, and Maximus in 10th, also on the hards. S. Graham not setting a time. Honey Badger getting disqualified from the session, and my controller is glitching out just slightly there. I do apologise about that. But Afri setting pole position here in Le Castellet in France. We are going to get going here for 15 laps of the race about to begin. Of course, if you do want to get in touch with me in the comment section, put in any sort of comment. I'm very happy to oblige to read that out on the stream, as long as it is within reach. The sun is out now here at Le Castellet, thank goodness for that. Seems like the sun has followed from Britain to France there. And Siege, good news about Siege, he is in the race, which is fantastic stuff. So Siege is in the race as well. We are about to get going for the racing here tonight for TTL F2, and in a very, very big development. Of course, there is worries about Brexit. Anybody that is interested, not sure what is happening, but apparently they've rejected an amendment from Mr. Corbyn. Mr. Corbyn, dearie me. But there we go, enough about Brexit. More to the action here tonight, with Afri currently leading the way on 100 and, if I can remember off the top of my head, 104 points. Spike in second, with Siege in third in the championship standings. Two of them here tonight. Siege, of course, is supposed to be in the Carlin, which is not the case. He's not in the Carlin. He is gone in the Dams, I think that is. Let's have a look at that. Yeah, that looks like it's either in the Dams or that is... Yeah, that's definitely the Dams car. So Siege obviously has... I picked the wrong car there. But in terms of tyres, we can get the tyres up. Everyone, bar Honey Badger, going for a set of hard compound of tyres. So Honey Badger, the only one starting on a set of soft compound of tyres. Everyone else, a set of hards as we get through towards the halfway stage for the formation lap. I'm going to make a very bold prediction here and say Afri for the win, Lyronix in second, and Navy in third. I think that might be the top three. You can take that in any order, really. I think that top three will probably be quite sufficient here tonight. And I do apologise if you do hear me coughing and spluttering during the stream. I didn't have a cough before this stream started, so obviously something going wrong. I have got a drink luckily alongside me. Hopefully I won't be able to take this off too much longer. But here we go. We come towards the end of the formation lap here at Le Castellet. Famous edition, of course, the French Grand Prix back to the calendar. Since, of course, I think it was 2006, if I recall. Manicourt was the last Grand Prix there held in France, returning in the mid part of 2016 or 17, I do believe, was the first French Grand Prix here at Castellet, Circuit Paul Ricard. It is a quite expansive track. There are runoff areas aplenty. If you see anybody going off at turn 1, they will be taking off the runoff area, and they'll have to give any positions back that they do gain as a result. But we should be getting going very shortly here for 15 laps of action in the feature race and 11 laps of action in the sprint race. I've already tried and tested out the format here tonight, so I know how many laps there are. Remaining cars now coming to the end of the grid and just taking their positions. Honey Badger now coming into position, and Siege about to come into position as well, and P13. But we are about to get going here for 15 laps of action for the F2 race. We are about to get going. Let's pick a camera angle, any camera angle. That's a much better one. The 5 red lights are about to go out here in France for the feature race. Long hold on the lights. It's lights out, away we go. Afri gets a very good start from the line. Casper gets a good start as well. Navy and Gort. Oh, and there's already been a spinner in the background. Maximus has spun off the line. I think that was done by himself. Not sure if there was contact there. Shown down the inside of Gort has made that stick. A little bit of a tag there. Oh, and there's a bit of contact in behind. Gort has spun into Maze as well. Sean just tagging Gort there. I'm not sure if it was either of them. Maximus is off. Graham, sorry, is off as well in the background of shot. Plenty of drama early on, but Afri has got the break by 9/10 of a second. Navy in second. Sean in third, Honey Badger in fourth, Andy in fifth. Honey Badger's already into fourth. Andy now down to sixth, has been overtaken by Casper. Lyronix is now on the back of Andy. coming down the long back straight here. Honey Badger right on the back of Sean, just in the head of Shot as well. Trying to look out for a move. Don't think he's going to be close enough for the move down into the chicane. Lyronix is through then on the inside of Andy. Gets up to P6, the German, on the inside of the Scotsman. Good move there by Lyronix, and he gets that move done. So Antillen delivered, and on the exit of the chicane at turn 9, Honey Badger's now got the inside line on Sean, coming through the flat right at turn 10, and it's an easy move for Honey Badger. Sean, I think, giving him the benefit of the doubt there, and Honey Badger is up to 3rd. Pretty good action for the most part on this first lap. Of course, that bits of contact early on will get investigated. Afri leading the way though by 1.6 seconds. Navy in 2nd, Honey Badger in 3rd, Casper's right on the back of Sean in 4th. Lyronix in 6th as well, Andy in 7th, Siege is already up into 8th. He is in the wrong car here tonight, I do believe, so we will be having to change to that. Of course, Cooper not here tonight, so that might be counted towards his points in the Constructors. We'll have to have a discussion about that. Honey Badger then, right on the back of Navy as the end of lap 1 has just happened, and we're on to lap 2. After he leads the way, Navy 2nd, Honey Badger in 3rd, Maze is into the pits, not surprising after that contact. The side-by-side in the background though, Siege up the inside of Andy, Siege the Brit up the inside of the Scotsman, gets the move done. S. Graham has spared, and Alan Kay has retired out of the race. So Alan Kay is out of the race already. The Irishman must have got caught in some early contact, who's had a spin somewhere out on track, as Lyronix has gone through on Casper, who is off track. Casper now down the inside of Lyronix by the looks, and he's not actually. Lyronix is miles ahead, so Lyronix down to 5th, Casper running off wide, and there's been a bit of a slowdown here. Now I'm not getting anything. There's yellow flags and there's a VSC deployed, so VSC is being deployed. I do apologise about not giving that as soon as possible, but there is a VSC out on track, so Afri just brings the neutralisation period to standstill really here. The race to a standstill almost. Afri leads the way by 1.5 seconds as they come towards the end of the VSC point, I do believe. Casper's right on the back of Lyronix, which we'll keep on board with. Sean has just lost a little bit of time out of this as well. Got to stick their deltas, of course, otherwise they'll be getting 5-second time penalties. Looks like the racing has begun once again, and there's a bit of front wing damage there. That was from Sean, I do believe, on the Honey Badger on the back of Navy, I do believe that was. So a bit of front wing damage there on the right side end plate. Honey Badger obviously being very close. Lyronix is through on Sean here, trying to go around the outside into turn 12. Not quite, could get the inside line, and the German sticks the car in front. The BWT Arden against Sean's Campos, and Lyronix is up the inside of... He's got the move done. Lyronix has got the move done on Sean. Fantastic stuff by the German, and he gets the move done on Sean. DRS enabled at the end of lap 2. On to lap 3 we go. After he leads the way, Honey Badger is into the pits. Early pit stop, of course. Mandatory pit stop going to be happening. I do believe that is going to be a pit stop for Honey Badger. He will be repairing his front wing that he's lost. Sean and Lyronix are side by side through turn 1. This is bringing Casper and Siege into play. The battle for 3rd really heating up. And Lyronix has held on firm to that position. The BWT Arden is still ahead of the Campos, with Casper closing in as well, just in behind. So I do apologise about my thingy. The Carlin and the Dams just in behind as well. Casper in the Carlin, Siege in the Dams. But after he leads away by 2.3 seconds. Navy in 2nd, Lyronix 3rd, Sean in 4th, Casper in 5th. He's trying to hunt down Sean on the run down towards turn 8 and 9, the chicane. Casper right on the back now of Sean. It's only 2/10. Could be possibly close enough for a move. Not quite though. Casper not close enough for a move on Sean. And the stairs they are through the chicane. Lyronix in 3rd, Sean in 4th, Casper 5th, and Siege just slightly losing a little bit of time. He's down in 6th, but he's not losing the back end, and he's just in beyond there as well in 7th. Maybe trying to get a little bit close to Afri up front, however. Just going to tune into the comment section to see. I'm supposed to be here. Why didn't anybody invite me? You're not being ignored. You will be retrialed next week. We just ran out of time for the trial. I did explain it at the start of the stream, so just to explain what happened. Obviously, people were late to the trials, which meant we're taking the decision to cancel the trial tonight. It will be rescheduled next week, and I will be overseeing that. Just to confirm, Jamie, you're not being left out, and I will reply to you on Twitter as well. That is a guarantee from me. But, however, on to lap 4. After he sets the new fastest lap of the race, bettered by Navy by about a 1/10 of a second there. Navy with a 48.4, Afri with a 48.6, I do believe that was his fastest lap which was taken. Let's just have a look on that. Yeah, 48.5 in fact. Navy with a 48.4, going slightly quicker than Afri ahead, but Navy's actually lost time out of turn 1. And once again, this three-way battle for 4th now developing as Ironics has spread-eagled Sean, and Ironics now ahead of Sean with Casper and Siege close in behind as well. But, of course, Sean is under pressure here from Casper. The Carlin and the Campos better do battles. Dams at the Siege and the Dams, I should say. I can get my words out. Siege is closing in on the Dams as well. We'll see this from his point of view. Casper now closing in on Sean. Sean looks like a sitting duck. He'll take that defensive line down the inside. Casper changing his line. Round the outside he goes. The Finn, and Casper's round the outside for the CPI team, and he gets the move done. Just about. Bit slow on exit. Sean now giving a second bite of the cherry here. Siege right in behind this as well. Just sitting, watching on, thinking that a mistake might happen. But looks like Casper has got that move done, and the Finn is up to 4th place. So the Casper is up to 4th. Carlin now ahead of the Campos. Fantastic stuff there by the Finn. We'll keep on board with Sean though. He'll try and come back at him. Siege now beginning to attack the back end of Sean in the meantime. Siege just right on the back of Sean, just running over slightly the AstroTurf. Everyone in behind has been into the pit. Honey Badger, Maze and S. Graham have been into the pit. The Gort is out of the race, I've just noticed as well. So the Gort is the second casualty out of this race. Looks like Siege is coming into the pit. Oh, I thought he was coming into the pits there. Just the way he was taking the line. After with a new fastest lap of the race, 48 flat, improves quite considerably by about 5/10 of a second. Now Ironics with 47.7, and everyone else coming across the line. Ironics really getting onto the back now of Navy, possibly 2.6 seconds separating as they come down into turn 1 once again. We are 1/3 of the way through here in the feature race in TTL F2, and Afri leads the way from Navy in 2nd, Ironics in 3rd, Casper 4th, Sean in 5th, Siege in 6th, but of course the pit stops do have to be made here in the feature race. There's mandatory pit stops, and if you don't pit stop, you'll get disqualified. It's as simple as that. Casper and Sean, though, in the meantime, beginning to battle out once again for P4 and P5. Siege in 6th, right on the back. Sean just running wide there. Casper having a better run off, taking a much deeper line on the inside. Now Sean right on the back here. Going to be on the right-hand side of your screen. Down the inside goes Sean. Casper, I think, trying to fight this round the outside. Very close action here between the two. The Campos round the outside of the Carlin. Fantastic one-to-one racing there between them both. And Sean repays the favour on Casper what he did a lap ago. And Sean is up to P4 once again, with Siege hunting in the background. The Brit right on the back of the Finn. The Finn is in a bit of a sandwich here as he tries to look up once again the inside of Sean. Now down to turn 10, tries to commit the move down the inside. He's done well to recover that, I've got to be honest. If he doesn't lose the back end, can he recover it? Still he does. Just keep the power on. Casper's recovered that. Siege, very wary of that danger of Casper spinning in front of him, has just backed off slightly, and given the benefit of the doubt, Casper's recovered that and has recovered himself from possibly a race-ending crash there. And Casper now is in 5th. Sean now in 4th as a result of that. Casper did very well. Just contacted the back end on Sean. Nothing too disheartening. I don't think it should be investigated. Probably a racing incident if it would be anyways. Siege now right on the back of Casper. Is he close enough down into turn 1? Not quite. Not quite. I do apologise once again. Afrilo leads the way. Navy in 2nd, Ironics in 3rd, Sean in 4th, Casper in 5th, with Siege in 6th, right on the back of him. So the Brit right on the back of the Finn here. Just having a look at what Jamie has posted once again. You don't understand, I was here about the restart. I had 20 minutes spare until it started. I messaged everyone, I was ignored by everyone, wanted to join as well, and now I'm here. If it feels like we've wasted your time, then I'm sorry, but obviously you were 20 minutes late. It's as simple as that. 20 minutes late, and I'm not up. It's not really up for discussion, to be honest, but we are going to be rescheduling that trial next week for you, so make sure that you do attend, and that'll be from 7 o'clock, and I'm pretty sure I will be setting up the lobby for about 6:50, just to give about 10-15 minutes maybe of leeway to anybody that might be late or running slightly late for the trial next week. And there will be more drivers found in the meantime as well, I can give that assurance. Afri though, 2.5 seconds away from clear of Navy at the minute. Ironics in 3rd, Sean in 4th with Casper in 5th, Siege in 6th. All of these begin to group together once again. Siege closing in on Casper, but Casper also beginning to close in on Sean. After that mistake, Casper's really got the bit between himself. Will be closing in firmly on the back as we approach the halfway stage. There are pit stops to be made here, I do believe. Afri leads the way. Navy in 2nd, Ironics in 3rd, Sean in 4th. We're on to lap 7, so we're nearly through halfway here in TTL F2, the feature race. Sprint race, of course, to come after this. Avery, Navy and Ironics still your top 3, but on board with the battle for 4th, 5th and 6th between Sean, Casper and Siege. Casper right on the back of Sean. Just in the 4th round of shot, trying to go around the outside into turn 4, not quite close enough there. That's turn 3, sorry, this is turn 4, now through 5, 6 and 7, through turn 6, now through 7 and 8, through 6, then through 7, there we go. Goodness me, I'm getting myself confused with my corner numbers there, but Casper right on the back there of Sean, bit of a desync going on there, possibly between Sean and Casper. Casper now on the back end of Sean. It's around the outside here in the Carlin. I think he's got that job done down into the chicane. Sean will try and attack the inside line once again. Through into the chicane, not quite close enough. And it is Casper who takes the position. He's up to 4th place. So the Finn is up to 4th, Sean in 5th, Siege in 6th. The Siege just holding back, possibly looking for any weaknesses from the 2 in front. The Siege definitely man on a mission. Currently 3rd in the championship, of course. Not too far behind Afri coming into this as well in terms of the pit stops. Andy is sorry, he's picked up a 3-second time penalty. I do apologise there. Obviously, Afri on 104, Siege on 75 coming into this. So Siege has got to pick up quite a few points. But it's looking good, I think. They're maybe maintaining themselves possibly for a crack at the sprint race. Of course, the top 8 will get reversed. So Maximus currently will be starting out on pole. With Andy in 2nd, Siege in 3rd and vice versa until you get to 8th place. It will be Afri, and then the bottom 3 will stay the same. Honey Badger, Maze, Scream, and then Gort and Alan K, of course, in 12th and 13th. As it stays if it stays as it is, which probably won't, these 3 beginning to battle once again. Casper now just pulling away, a much cleaner exit out of turns 1 and 2. With Sean now right on the back once again. Different points at the track here, where as Honey Badger sets the new fastest lap with a 46.7. Good lap there as the cloud cover now begins to develop out on track. We are halfway through here in TTL F2. Afri, Navy and Lyronix, the top 3. Lyronix beginning to close in on Navy just ahead. We'll try and go on board with that soon. Siege is right on the back of Sean. Both of them taking very weird lines down the straight, trying to defend the inside line, trying to break the toe. Casper on Sean. Sean now down into the braking zone. Siege just sitting and waiting possibly. Sean picked up a 3-second time penalty. Pretty sure Casper picked up one earlier on as well. So they're both even now in terms of penalties. It's Afri who leads the way still. Navy in 2nd. Lyronix in 3rd. Casper in 4th. And then up the hill now. Sean in 5th. Siege in 6th position. Looking good so far. 2.3 seconds the gap. Stay consistent that gap. Afri, Navy. And then 1.5 seconds to Ironics. That gap has filled by about 6/10 of the last 3 laps or so. So Ironics not gaining and not really bringing himself into play as much as Casper's ran wide through into turn 12. Casper now through into, this is turn 12, now into 13, now into 14 and 15. Casper's going into the pits. So Casper into the pits. Takes a very awkward line going into the pits, but he's in anyway, so he gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. I think he was a couple of mile an hour over there. Casper into the pits, and of course the pit stops do have to be made. Honey Badger in 9th, trying to close on a Maximus. Siege now is 7/10 off Sean as a result of Casper now pitting in. Siege will now get very close to the back of Sean. 2 seconds the gap though out in front between Afri and Navy. Up 9 out of 15. We are pretty much 3/5 of the way through. Be 2/3 of the way through next lap around. Casper on to a set of soft compound of tyres. Afri leading the way, Navy in 2nd. Lyronix though right on the back of Navy. It's 1.1 seconds now that gap, and Lyronix has really got the bit between himself and is beginning to close in on Navy. However, Siege is closing in on Sean as well. Breaking the toe, possibly Sean down the straight. Siege in the dams against Sean and the Campos, and this looks like easy pickings possibly down the inside. Not going to attempt to move down the inside though, Sean. And Siege, and Sean holds a position. He's up still in 4th position. Siege once again trying to close in up the hill into turn into turn 10, then through the complex at 11 and 12. Very fast flowing corners here, these. Double right-hander through 11 and 12. Sean doing a good job out in front to repel the raid of Siege just behind him. Anybody coming into the pits in front? Yes, Lyronix is in. So Lyronix into the pits, the German. Got to get the pit lane right, and he does. No 5-second penalty. Gains a position from Navy, but of course Navy going on to another lap will get that position back. Sean is also into the pits as well. Siege going out for another lap. Lyronix still into the pits. There's been that soft compound of tyres going on. Of course, only 6 pit crew can work on the car at any one time. Lyronix now pulls away as a result. Sean now into the pits as well. There's a tyre just floating through the screen there. I don't know why that occurred. Andy into the pits as well. Honey Badger is on the back of Maximus, and in fact Honey Badger's gone past Maximus. So Honey Badger's now through on Maximus. That's for P7, currently out on track, and Honey Badger will be hoping he can try and get to the end of the race. He's gone ahead of Sean. There's Lyronix just out ahead of him as well. So Sean, I think, is just going to be behind Casper here, who's done a great job to undercut him, and Sean about a second off coming out the pits. Casper now leading the way in 7th position. Sean and 8th as Casper picks up another 3-second time penalty. Back to the lead battle though. After 2 seconds ahead of Navy, Lyronix has been into the pits, came out in clearer in 4th. Got to try and put the hammer down on these set of softs, make sure they work at a much better temperature at this stage in the race. And with 2/3 of the way through, Afri leads the way, Navy 2nd, Siege in 3rd. Navy's picked up a 3-second time penalty. That might have been a little bit unfair, possibly caught on the outside of the curb, I do believe. Maze is into the pits as well to serve up his, I think that might be his 2nd pit stop that he's actually made here tonight. Yes, it is. Maximus, Afri, Navy and Siege still yet to come into the pits. So the top 3 plus Maximus still yet to come into the pits. Looks like Afri's coming into the pits now. So the German is into the pits from the lead of the race. Navy responds in as well. Navy's going to overcook that down into the braking zone. Not quite. Not quite. And my god, that was close. But Siege is still going right out on track, and he's not pitting in just yet. Lyronix still wanting to hope that he can close in on Navy. Navy is out of the pits. Siege is now going past the pit lane. Afri is about to come out of the pit lane. Lyronix is at the final corner. This is going to be quite close, I think. Afri on the exit of the pit lane now. Lyronix is there, and I think both of them, in fact, are just going to get ahead. So Afri and Navy just going to get out ahead of Lyronix, and this is going to be a real intriguing battle now for the top 3. Afri, Navy and Lyronix. Wonder who picked them for the top 3 before we came into this race. I think that might have been me. But Siege leads the way currently. Afri in 2nd, Navy 3rd, Lyronix in 4th. Siege still yet to come into the pits. Everyone else has, of course, served their mandatory pit stops. Maximus also into the pits this lap as well. He's gone on to set soft compound tyres. Plenty of the red wall tyres now filling up the screen as the cloud cover once again tries to begin to build through the first section. Lyronix has got the hammer down and is beginning to close in on Navy down the straight. Navy under pressure here from Lyronix. PWT Arden on the back of the MP Motorsport, and Navy right on the back of Afri as well. 1.2 seconds separating. In a bit of a German sandwich here, actually, Navy. Lyronix now closing in, 4/10 away. Running up the hill once again into turn 10. And Afri now just beginning to try and pull away out in the net lead. 1.2 seconds the gap. Navy in 2nd, Lyronix in 3rd. Just drifts slightly wide off the camber of the corner, and again off the camber of the corner, just drifting wide through turn 11, now through turn 12. Lyronix really beginning to sense that he might have this, and Afri just losing a little bit of time as Siege is into the pits from the lead of the race. So Siege in, obviously going to go on to set soft compactor tyres. They will be fresher towards the end of the race. Focus back our attentions on Lyronix though in the meantime. Siege, I think, might be coming out in P7, I would imagine, on the exit of the pit. Should be quite easily out ahead of Andy, and we'll try and close in. Running down the straight though, Afri leads. Navy 2nd, Lyronix with the new fastest lap for the rest with a 45.3. Nice lap there by the German. Honey Badger now in 4th. Siege, there is Casper, there is Sean, both go past. And Siege is going to be about 4 seconds behind, I would imagine. 3-4 seconds out and behind. Siege out in clear air. He's out in 7th place. But interesting battle now with 4 laps to go, maybe 3.5 if you're being picky. Afri leading the way in 1.2 seconds. Gap is staying consistent, but Lyronix and Navy begin to try and hunt him down, and certainly the gap has just closed slightly running down the straight, and Afri just trying to weave down the straight to try and break the slipstream that Navy could possibly get. It's only a second the gap, which is just within range, I do believe, for any slipstream to be picked up and for any speed to be picked up as well. Lyronix on the back as Sean is on the back of Casper. This is going down the inside of the chicane. Casper has run wide a little bit. See Sean around the outside, the Campos on the Carlin. Great move there by Sean. Didn't see the lead up into that, but Sean has got the move done. And Sean, the Campos, is up to P5. Nice move there on Casper. Lyronix right on the back of Navy once again for second and third as Afri just tries to bridge out a little bit of a gap. Casper and Sean once again get very tight to each other. Casper with a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. I think that's either his third or fourth here tonight. We'll try and pick up the penalties if the battles just suddenly end. Don't think they will end though towards the end of the race. They're just beginning really. Afri, Navy and Lyronix are top 3. Honey Badger doing a good job in fourth. On a set of hard penalties. He will get those to the end. He did pit quite early after that for wing damage. I think it was on lap 4, 3 or 4 he pitted, I do believe. Sean in 5th, Casper in 6th. This is the battle you're on board with. You're on board currently with Casper, the Finn, trying to close in on Sean the Brit. Down the straight, and Siege beginning to get involved in this possibly as well. 1.8 seconds the gap between Casper and Sean, but knowing Siege's speed, 6 tenths between Sean and Casper, and 1.9 seconds down into turn 1 between Siege and Casper. And certainly with Siege's pace, he is going to get into this battle for 5th place and potentially pick up some valuable points. But does he recognise that, knowing the position he's in, he's going to be starting second for the sprint race at the moment. Andy is going to be starting on pole for the sprint race as well here at Circuit Paul Ricard. And of course, only one 50% race left to go after this. Afri leads the way, Navy in second, Lyronix in third, with 2.5 laps to go. There's the rest of the field just going in the background of shot. Sean, Casper and Siege, that was, going through the chicane. Honey Badger still splitting them, looks to be holding firm in fourth and it's not seeming to be losing any time. Soon, 4.8 seconds to Sean. That's a relatively good margin he can keep towards the end of the race here. So Honey Badger's done a master stroke, I think, going on just one stop and going on to a set of hards from a set of softs. Afri, Navy and Lyronix separated by 2 seconds out on track. Go back on board with Casper, who's right on the back of Sean, and Siege once again closing in. The beginning of the lap, it was 1.9 seconds, the gap. It's now 1.2 seconds, so 7 tenths gained on this lap, and I honestly wouldn't be surprised as Afri sets the new fastest lap for the race with a 45.3. Fastest lap point does get awarded here, of course, in both feature and sprint races. Siege, though, right on the back, a second away. Wouldn't be surprised if this is a new fastest lap, to be honest. It's not, but he is putting the hammer down, and Siege now trying to close in as Casper begins to close in on Sean down into turn 1. Bit of a lock up there from Casper. Sean cuts the corner at turn 1 and picks up a 3-second time penalty. Afri as well picks up a 3-second time penalty there. The leader might be costly towards the end of the race. We'll just quickly have a check of the penalties, and this is going to be a very quick check. A penalty for Afri, a penalty for Navy, 3 warnings for Lyronix, 3 seconds for Honey Badger, 2 for Sean. Casper has got 3 penalties plus a 5-second time penalty. Sean with a penalty, Andy with a penalty, Maximus with 2 warnings, Maze with a warning, Escream still going round with a 5-second time penalty. Is now Casper looks to the inside of Sean in the background of shot. Casper now down the inside of Sean, and the Carling has got that move done once again. Sean tries to stick the Campos back up the inside. It's good racing, good fair clean racing. Look at Siege, it's going to be 3 wide possibly down the straight here. Siege says thank you very much as part of that little bit of contact. Siege now closing on Casper. Dams on the back of the Carlin, and on towards the final lap of the race. 3-way battle for 5th now developing. The lead battle has really ended. Lyronix looks like he's going to be gaining out of that, however, and could potentially take the feature race win. Afri has got to put the hammer down though to secure that win. Siege once again trying to look down the inside of Casper. Not close enough. Think he will get it done on the straight, I do believe. Sean just dropping off slightly. 3 tenths. Casper runs wide. Nearly into the pit lane almost. Siege now trying to go all the way around the outside of turn 15. If he can get the traction off the corner, this will be fantastic, as Honey Badger has been disqualified from the session for not using the correct compound of tyres. That is beyond me. Honey Badger is disqualified from the race. Sean down the inside of Casper, though, down into turn 1. Siege has got the move done on Casper. Sean trying to have a look down the inside. Not good enough. I've never seen anything like it, really. He did change from a set of hards to a set of softs to a set of hards, so not sure if the game is belligerently giving him a bad penalty there, to be honest. That will be investigated and that could be removed. You never know. Afri, 1.8 seconds clear of Navy, but more importantly is just under 3 seconds ahead of Lyronix. Keep an eye on that battle. Keep an eye on those interval timings. 2.8 seconds the current gap between the leader. Once again, as they come down the straight, Casper right on the back of Siege. Not close enough. I don't think they're going to be close enough now for any sorts of moves. Cloud cover beginning to develop. Possible rain towards the end of the race here, but Afri, 1.6 seconds clear. I don't think it's going to be enough, however, between him and Lyronix. Lyronix has put the hammer down on this final lap and has tried to close in, as Afri now comes into the final couple of corners. Leading the way by 1.8 is going to be touch and go towards the line. If he can get that gap out to 3 seconds, it's 2.9 seconds. He's just shy at the minute. Afri through the final 2 corners now. Better come across the line to win here. Is he going to keep the win though? Because Lyronix is 2.9 seconds out of the final corner. Afri takes the win. Navy second. Keep an eye on the timing. Oh, and Lyronix nicks it by 2/100ths of a second. That is desperate stuff. But the German takes it on penalties. Lyronix wins. Afri second, Navy third. Siege across the line in fourth. Casper in fifth. Sean jumps ahead of him in terms of the penalties. Andy better come across the line in seventh. I've never seen a race that has finished 200ths separating the top 2. That is unbelievable on the penalties given. But Andy is going to be coming across the line in P7. Maximus in P8. Good drive from them. Andy and Maximus will be starting first and second on the front row of the grid in the sprint race. Mays is still going round out on track, and S. Graham still going round out on track as well. They're both into the final and middle sectors respectively. But Lyronix has taken it here on penalties. Dramatic end to a dramatic race as we see Honey Badger getting disqualified from the race. It is really unfortunate. What BS. I know. I definitely recall you starting on the set of soft compound of tyres. Mays about to come across the line now to finish in 9th position. Good result from him given the early contact, and S. Graham is going to be coming across the line to finish in 10th position as well. He's about to come across the line now to finish that, and now around the final couple of corners for S. Graham. And he'll be coming across the line in P10. There we go, S. Graham picks up the final point there. But that is it. That is it here tonight for the feature race. The sprint race still to come, of course. But it is Lyronix who takes it by the slimmest of margins. 2/100th of a second between himself, Afri, and at the end of the race here. At the end of the race, Lyronix takes it from Afri. On penalties granted, might be investigations looked into, of course. Lap 1 contact certainly will be looked into from the stream's point of view for sure. I will have a look at that personally myself. But sprint race still to come. More importantly, we could see anything happen in the sprint race. Knowing like Baku and Monaco last week, anything could happen in these sprint races. It is Lyronix who takes it. No penalties. Gets him the win in the end of the day. Doesn't get the fastest lap. After he gets the fastest lap, the rest and gets a point added to his total. So it's 19 instead of 20 points, as you see on your screen. Lyronix takes it. Afri second. Navy in third. Siege in fourth. Sean in fifth. Casper sixth. Andy seventh. Maximus eighth. Mason ninth. S. Graham in 10th. Gort, Alan K not finishing. And Honey Badger possibly getting one of the weirdest disqualifications I think I've ever seen, to be honest. Honey Badger gets a disqualification. Honestly not sure why that disqualification was given, but it was given, and I'm sure we will have a look at it and try and get it removed, and maybe place him in the position that he might have been gaining nonetheless. But we'll have a look into that, of course, as part of the stewarding team. 13 drivers still here. Everyone about to do battle once again for the sprint race, and we should be getting going for 11 laps of action here tonight. Andy, whole race with a damaged wing, P7 though. Oh crap, that means I'm P2 on the grid for the sprint. Don't worry, we have seen battles going on, as I have just received something very interesting indeed. A little bit of a notification coming through. It looks like we're going back to the polls again in the UK. 12th of December election. And that is just being voted through by Parliament. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. But back to France. No politics here tonight in TTL F2. And we will be getting going for 11 laps worth of racing for the sprint race. The formation lap about to begin, and Maximus and Andy will start us off on that formation lap. Somebody very eager to get on near the back of the field. I think that might have been Gort getting very eager to go off the line there. But everyone on a hard compound of tyres. No mandatory pit stops, of course, here in the sprint race. So there's literally a lights to flag full race. And 11 laps on these hards should be quite easy to do. They won't be wearing us close enough to the soft compound of tyres, which you saw in the first race, especially from Honey Badger's point of view, picking up that front wing damage, only lasting 4 laps on a set of softs because of that front wing damage. Possibly could have got into around the midway point in the race before pitting if he didn't have that front wing damage. But predictions, I was pretty much nearly spot on with my prediction last time, apart from the Afri and ironic switch around. It was pretty much perfect. I'm going to go for something similar again here tonight, and I'm going to go Afri for the win. I'm going to go Siege in second and Navy in third. I just think the Ironics might get caught in a little bit of contact early on here in this race. You never know what can happen in the sprint races. Take you back to Baku 2 races ago in the sprint race, in one of the maddest sprint races I think I've ever seen. Constant battling throughout, which was absolutely phenomenal. Not the cleanest of driving, guaranteed, but it was fun. The sprint race is supposed to be just that. Gets these drivers on their toes and gets these drivers driving in a competitive and clean manner, which we should be seeing here tonight, bearing any incidents. Maximus, of course, after that recovery, after that spin off the start line for Maximus, obviously he's going to be starting on pole position here. He will try and maximise the effort from Andy. Casper in third. He's got to, these 3, I think, have got to try and pull about a little bit of a gap and not get themselves caught up in any sort of shenanigans going on down into turn 1, especially in terms of the braking down into turn 1. Hit the back of another car, you'll pretty much end up guaranteed losing your front wing or end plate, certainly at least your end plate. But if you lose your front wing, then that's just quite unfortunate. The last driver is now coming around the final corner. Honey Badger about to join up at the back. Hopefully this race is much better than his last. Got to put that mindset into play and make sure he is focused on the job in hand. 11 laps worth of action though here for race 2 at Circuit Paul Ricard in Le Castellet in southern France. And we're about to get going once again for 5 red lights. Light down, away we go. Andy gets a much better start than Maximus off the line and has already jumped him. So Andy's up into P1, Casper's already into P2, Maximus has had a shocking start. Siege is already up into P3 as well. Sean has gone down the field slightly down into turn 1. Everyone looking clean in the background. Everyone clean through turn 1. That's what we like to see. Alan K backing off in the background. A little bit of contact there between Maximus and Siege. Maximus just been knocking Siege off track. Not sure if there was any bit of contact there between them both. Andy and Casper though go side by side for the lead towards the end of sector 1. Casper up the inside of Andy. And the Finn has made that stick down the inside. So Casper now into P1. Andy into P2. And then Maximus P3, Sean in P4, Navy, Afri, Siege, Lyronics, Honey Badger, Maze filling out the top 10, Gort, S. Graham and Alan K. Very close battling as Maximus once again gets past Andy down the straight. Clear speed difference there between both of the cars, and Maximus down the inside. Andy tries to hold it around the outside, locks up, misjudges his braking point, goes straight on across. There is a yellow flag in behind. There's been better contact. Lyronics and S. Graham have been caught up in better contact, and S. Graham has picked up a 5-second penalty. Not sure what went on there. we'll of course be having a look at the POVs more than anything else. I definitely didn't catch that on stream. Afri has gone through an Andy, and that's Graham has retired out of the race and has left the session, and a safety car is being deployed as a result. So safety car is out on track, the first safety car of the weekend here in TTL F2. Just spices things up even further and condenses the field, which means Lyronix, if he's got damage, will be able to come into the pits. Doesn't look like he's got damage. It might have just been a bit of miscommunication, possible spin on the curb maybe by Lyronix, which has caught S. Graham out, and S. Graham retires from the race. I have a feeling that might have happened. But because this is a sprint race, you shouldn't be seeing any drivers come into the pits. Alan Kay is into the pits, however, though. So Alan Kay into the pits, the Irishman is in. He is going to be in. Is he going to try and take the advantage and go into a set of soft compounded tyres here, I wonder? Yes, that is a set of softs out in the pit box for him. And Alan Kay takes a bit of a punt here. He's going to be the quickest driver surely out on track as a result of the softs. Big strategy call that from Alan Kay, and this is good. This could be a great decision for him to get potential first points of the weekend here. And of course, Alan Kay, I do apologise, did pick up the points in the last race. I do believe, anyways. I'll just confirm that once again. I'll just have a quick run through the from last result, because my memory is like an absolute sieve currently out on track in the comment section. Hopefully you guys have been enjoying the session. Alan Kay, of course, DNF'd out of the last race, so he will be picking up possibly his first points of the season here tonight, and it's going to be quite something if he can pull this strategy off. Go on a set of soft compounded tyres, 10 laps on a set of softs, not going to be that great, but Alan Kay could just do it, you know. Could just do it. So the field now behind the safety car, bar from Alan Kay. Lyronix and Gort. Gort has spun under the safety car. Bit of a weird one. I think he must have got caught in the curb or something there. I don't know what has happened there. Gort has spun under the safety car. Very rare you see anybody spinning under the safety car. Casper though out in front. Maximus in second. Sean in third as a result. One. Just make sure you keep very close and keep your wits about you under the safety car here. Lyronix has joined on the back. Gort and Alan Kay better join on the back as well. And the Gort has got a drive-through penalty for falling too far back. So if you thought Honey Badger's disqualification was a bit BS, Gort's penalty, drive-through penalty, is certainly a bit BS as well. That's unbelievable. What is this game on tonight, honestly? Sean, in a desperate attempt to try and get past Maximus, we will have another lap as Lyronix is into the pits. So Lyronix into the pits, that's why you can hear the sirens going off in the background, indicating the car is into the pits. So Lyronix responds possibly to what we saw with Alan Kay, pitting in on a set of softs. And there's another set of softs out for Lyronix. So he's onto a set of softs as well. Two taking a punt. Lyronix and Alan Kay, will they pick up points? You'll just have to wait and find out. Everyone just got to take their wits about them. We don't want to see any Constantinering effect here under the safety car. Everyone's got to stay within their rights and within at least a couple of car lengths, I would say, of each other. You don't want to try and go into the back of anybody under the safety car. You will pick up a penalty, I do believe, as well. Casper warming up the tyres, though, out in front. We'll get action back underway here for lap 4. On lap 4, I'm certain of that. Casper, Maximus, Sean, Navy and Afri currently your top 5. Andy Siege, Honey Badger, Maze and Gorsh your top 10. Alan Kay and Lyronix both on a set of soft compound of tyres. They are in 11th and 12th, with S. Graham the only retiree after contact with Lyronix earlier on. And that contact, of course, will get investigated. Make sure you do send in your POVs to the stewards, and I will be part of the stewarding team that will have a look at the decisions that can affect after the race. Of course, these will be the official, unofficial results, as my good old commentating friend Mr. McGinley used to say here in TTL F2 as well. Casper though, 1.5 tenths, safety car now in this lap. Oh, bit of a dangerous backup there. Everyone's got to keep their wits about them. Casper going a bit too slow, causing everyone 5-second time penalty for Afri. And Casper going way too slow out of front. I'm honestly thinking Casper going way too slow out in front has caused that. I've got to be honest. I'm not one to judge, but I think that's probably what we've just seen there, to be honest. It's a bit of a shame, and it's a bit unfortunate, but come on. You've got to keep your wits about you under the safety car here. Casper giving plenty of time though for the safety car to get ahead and backs up the field once again, and Sean nearly runs on the back of Maximus. Everyone going to keep their wits about them now. Casper floors it down into the final two corners, and we're going to get back underway here very soon for TTL F2. Casper trying to judge it well as they come across the line. Very cool tyres there for Sean, and Navy's going to try and get past him. We're back underway here in TTL F2 on lap 4 out of 11 in the sprint race. Casper leads the way, Maximus in second. Navy now trying to go on the outside line of Sean down into turn 1. The MP Motorsport on the back of the Campos of Sean. Not quite. Afri with our 5-second time penalty trying to make a difference. Bit of a slide on there from Andy out of turn 1, losing positions left, right and centre. Siege and Honey Badger have gone past him. Navy still on the back of Sean as they come through into turn 5. And at the end of the first sector, Casper still holds the lead. Maximus in second. They've got a little bit of a break, these two, under the safety car restart. Good safety car restarts from them both. Sean in third, Navy fourth, Afri fifth, Siege in sixth, Honey Badger seventh, Andy in eighth, Mason ninth, Lyronics in 10th, Gorse and Alan K 11th and 12th. So Alan K is down a position. Lyronics has gained a position though in the meantime. In fact, I think he's gained 2 positions, I do recall. Yeah, Lyronics has gained 2 positions from coming out the pits. Come out of the chicane at 8 and 9 and run down the straight once again, slightly uphill into turn 10. Casper though's got a break, 6/10 of the gap. Maximus in second, Sean in third, Navy fourth, Afri fifth, Siege in sixth, Honey Badger in seventh, trying to close in once again on the dams of Siege. Getting very close here. Honey Badger trying to make up for lost time, of course, down the inside into turn 12. Thinking about it, he could pull it off, you know, if he can try this around the outside and get the switch back onto the inside line. In fact, he's trying to go all the way around the outside on Siege here. There he is. Oh, what a move that is. Honey Badger right around the outside of Siege. Fantastic commitment there by the Dutchman. Round the outside of the Brit. And Honey Badger has got up into P6 with a phenomenally good move round the outside. Has clearly got those tyres warmed up to absolute perfection. Casper leads the way. Maximus in second. Plenty of new fastest laps being set. Honey Badger has set that new fastest lap. Lyronics betters that though. And Lyronics in the meantime is trying to get past Maze down the straight. DRS will be enabled next lap. And Lyronics is through. Right on the outside of Maze down into turn 1. Has got the move done. I think Maze giving them the benefit of the doubt there. Lyronics making eye-catching progress through. Watch out for him towards the end of the race because this is going to be really intriguing indeed. Navy just picking up a 3-second time penalty as we came on board there, in fact. Top 6, top 7 now begin to get a little bit Constantine up a little bit. And the whole field separated by less than, well, just over 7 seconds. The gap between the top 3 is Lyronics, and Andy has a bit of a slide there coming out of turn 6 and 7. Andy's lost positions. Past Lyronics and Maze they go. And Navy down into the braking zone. It's going to get very, very close. Everyone got to keep their wits about them, of course. As we approach, and we are pretty much at the halfway stage now as Navy loses the back end. On the exit, just applying a bit too much power, and Navy loses the back end. And has lost all hope now, potentially winning this race. Andy's right on the back of Maze, though, in the meantime, trying to go up the inside of the Scotsman. Not quite. Andy and Maze find it out for 8th and 9th currently out on track. Casper though leads the way and has still got that little bit of a break. Maximus in second, Sean in third, Afri fourth, with Honey Badger in 5th. Let's have a look at position gains. Honey Badger's getting 8 positions. Most noticeable gainer out on track. 3 gained for Afri, 2 gained for Casper, and 1 each for Sean, Lyronics, Maze, Gort and Alan K. Worst positions lost. Navy has lost 6, Andy's lost 7 from the start. Gort into the pits. So Gort into the pit lane. This was that soft compound of tyres, I wonder. Zafri right on the back of Sean, in fact, down into turn 1. The German down the inside of the bridge, trying to commit it. A little bit of contact on entrance into the corner. Zafri trying to make sure he gets the knock, but Sean defending that like a lion. Pretty much in a lion-coloured car. He's still in that P3 position at this stage. Gort is into the pits. Oh, he's serving his drive-through. Do apologise. Gort is out of the pits and he's served his drive-through penalty. It's going to be quite a lonely drive now for him towards the end of the race. Casper though leads by 0.4 of a second, but the Brit Maximus now closing in. Afri once again on the back of Sean. Have a beautiful helicopter cam there for a second. And Afri now with the DRS gets past Sean. Sean back in the slipstream. Will try and come back with him down into the chicane. Honey Badger trying to launch it down the inside as well. Sean commits himself, overcommits himself, and maybe just turned into the corner a little bit too early there. Not sure if Honey Badger was trying to make sure he gets into a mistake. And Sean weaving. Not happy about something, Sean. Clearly something has gone on there. Possibly Honey Badger maybe putting him off behind. Who knows? Let's read into that one. Honey Badger's now on the back of Sean, trying to launch it down the inside. He is a man on a mission here, Honey Badger. Lyronix down the inside of Siege. Got the move done, I think, in the background. And the German on the back of the Brett has got the move done. So Lyronix is up to P6. And Lyronix is making eye-catching progress through this field. Could potentially win the whole thing here tonight in the sprint race. Needs a little bit more lungs there, to be honest. Casper leads the way. Honey Badger trying to dive it down the inside now on Sean. Lyronix trying to gain. Better run out the corner. Sean defends the position well. Honey Badger now within the slipstream. Was in the slipstream. Now opens up the DRS. Maximus now. And there's plenty going on. Maximus now around the outside of Casper for the lead of the race. Maximus has got the lead of the race. Afri now in third. Honey Badger fourth. Lyronix in fifth. Has got past Sean. Lyronix gets that move done. He's past Sean. Plenty kicking off. Good, clean, competitive, hard racing here as Casper tries to launch it down the inside again. And there's contact. Very good avoiding action there from Afri. Nearly collecting him. But a bit of contact shown there. And Maximus and Casper. Casper in the wall. Unfortunate bit of contact that. He's dropping positions left, right and centre. Siege has dropped the position past Honey Badger as well. Casper retires from the session. I'm not surprised in that at all. Trying to break the toe. Lyronix right on the back of Afri. Look at how Lyronix has made eye-catching progress through the field on the set soft competitive tyres. Now trying to launch it down the inside of Afri. Not quite close enough. The two countrymen now going at it. Maximus now leads the way. Inherits the lead after Casper's spin. Trying to overcommit himself, I think, into the corner. It might be twice we've seen that tonight. But got to make sure that mindset is back for next race. Honey Badger and Sean once again nearly go side by side through into the final 4.5 laps. Maximus leads the way. Afri second. Lyronix third. Honey Badger once again trying to launch it down the inside of Sean. Not quite. Lyronix caught up in a little bit of a pocket there between Afri and Maximus. He was trying to launch the move on both of them, I think. Just backed off wisely. Two groups beginning to get going here between the top 6. Top 3 split into one group, and it looks like 4th, 5th and 6th are split into another group as well. And now they all Constantino up once again. Afri now on the back of Maximus. Maximus is sitting duck running down the straight. Onto lap 8 we go. 4 laps to go here in the sprint race. Afri ran the outside of Maximus. Look at Lyronix's closing speed. Closing speed a bit too much. Maximus contacts Afri. I can't believe it. Maximus has contacted Afri. They're both round, nearly causing carnage. In the meantime, Maximus is round again. Sean is back into 4th. Oh, just unfortunate little bits of contact now, costing the drivers out on track. Afri's through on Maximus. Maximus, in fact, been letting Afri through. Good sportsmanship shown there by Maximus on Afri. But that will be investigated. Left side end plate missing as well for Afri. It's costly. Very costly indeed. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of harsh words possibly being said after this by a few of the drivers towards their compadres. But of course, it's all in the spirit of fair and competitive racing here tonight in the sprint race. Tensions may run a little high, but I'm sure I'll control it at a nice, secure level. Lyronix, 3.5 laps between himself and a possible masterstroke genius. He's out in front by 2 seconds. Honey Badger second. Siege in third. Sean in 4th. Afri 5th as Mays is disconnected from the session. Just in behind there. Mays disconnects from the session. Not sure if there was a disconnect going on there. Have seen it before this season with Mays disconnecting. Now getting overtaken by Alan Kay, and Alan Kay now into P7 and is looking good for his first points of the season if he can keep that car within the white lines. Been picking up his first points for the Trident team, and valuable points possibly towards the end here. And of course we'll inform you of the constructors and the drivers standings next race. Sean is into the pits. Sean is into the pits. Mays rejoins, which is good to see. Lyronix sets the new fastest lap of the race. 3 laps to go. Sean into the pits will be on the back now. He's into the pits repairing his front wing and gets a soft compound of tyres on as well by the looks for Sean. Him and Gort are going to be right down at the back, and I think Gort is in fact going to get him out of the pit lane as Navy has gone through, and Andy, that's down into turn 1. Andy and Navy battling it hard. Oh, and Andy getting the move done. Casper leads the session, no real surprise there. Navy and Andy though side by side. Once again down into turn 3. Navy and Andy giving each other plenty of space, plenty of room to operate. Andy down the inside of Navy, commits himself. Navy with the traction off though, getting around the outside, and Andy's still not giving up this battle. There's a P7 out on track now. Mays has rejoined, luckily. He's now back in the race and going round out on track just behind them. Andy and Navy. Andy has pulled off the move. Andy gets the move done. Here comes Navy, right back down on the inside line now. Navy, with the other speed, gets back past. Fantastic action going on. Look at Mays hunting him down. Oh, and Andy loses control of the car out of the... Oh, and Mays loses control of the car as well. It's synchronised spinning here in TTL F2. It's unfortunate spinning as well. Andy and Mays having both similar errors. Look like they both got caught on the curb. And Gort now inherits 9th place as a result. Andy down into P8, who recovers the car nicely. Maximus is right on the back of Afri battling it out. Hectic action once again here in the sprint race. Lyrics comes towards the end of lap 9, leading the way from Honey Badger in second. 2 laps to go in the sprint race in TTL F2. Lyrics leads the way. Honey Badger is second. Siege in third. Afri fourth. Maximus in fifth. Alan K, Navy, Andy, Gort, Mays and Sean is just rejoining there officially in the session. He rejoined plenty of time before that. Unfortunate spinning there between both of them though. Andy just dropping the back end on the exit of the corner, applying a bit too much power and spinning the car around. Mays, I think, doing the same, but on the other side of the corner. Maximus now trying to launch it down the inside of Afri. Afri has to half commit off the move. Maximus realising that wasn't going to be a safe move to pull off. Got to get him down the straight, I think, if anywhere. And now Afri holds on firm, the German out in 4th. Maximus in 5th position. Alan Kay, though, is having a great race in 6th. Ironics, though, still leads the way. 2.5 seconds to gap. To Honey Badger in 2nd. Siege in 3rd. Afri in 4th. Maximus in 5th. Alan Kay in 6th. As I was alluding to there, Alan Kay, on for his first point score of the season, going to be helping out Trident very, very considerably here. Keeping an eye on the penalty situation. In fact, that's what I'll check now. Right on board with that. Lyronix has got a penalty. Honey Badger's got 2 warnings. Interesting. 2 warnings for Siege. 5-second time penalty for Afri. 2 warnings for Maximus. 1 warning for Alan Kay. Not many penalties here. Nevy's picked up 2 penalties. Andy's picked up a warning. Drive through for Gort, which he served, and a penalty for Gort. So only 3 seconds for him. And Mays not picking up any penalties at all. Sean picking up a penalty. Out on track. On to the final lap. We take over into the final lap we go. Maximus trying to take a wide out line. Try and get the run off into turn 15. Next to the final corner. Alan Kay is getting closed down by Navy as well. And Navy picking him off. I think Navy's going to get through here on Alan Kay. On to the final lap we go. Maximus not close enough for a move in the foreground. A shot on Afri, but Navy's got the move done on Alan Kane. He's up to P6, goes Navy. Alan Kane now in P7. Just got to stick it on the white lines and just got to keep it within himself to try and pick up the points. But Lyronix has dominated this race out in front. But once again, it looks like penalties are going to be coming into play here. Lyronix, this time on the receiving end of the penalties. He's picked up a 3-second time penalty. Honey Badger, of course, no penalties yet. Stress yet. Anything can still happen on this final lap. Lyronix 2.6 seconds ahead of Honey Badger. Siege in 3rd, Afri in 4th. Maximus in 5th position. Maximus now going down the inside of Afri. Not quite close enough. Afri still holding firm on Maximus. We'll keep an eye on that for now. Come now up the hill once again. Maximus getting close to Afri. Not going to be close enough though. Or commits himself. Too much speed, possibly through the corner. Afri still holding on. We come towards the end of the race now with Lyronix. Oh, and just as soon as I come off the move, Maximus tries to pull off the move and Afri down the inside, not quite. Lyronix now through the final corner. We'll go straight back on board with that battle. Maximus picked up a 3-second time penalty, but Lyronix is going to take the win here. But it's Honey Badger on penalties that will take it. Official, unofficial results. Make sure Honey Badger is the winner. Good retribution from his disastrous feature race. Siege in third. Afri going to come across the line in fourth. Holding on from Maximus in fifth. The German has done well despite losing his front wing. Parts of his front wing. Afri picking up a 5-second time penalty. Maximus in fourth, then Afri in fifth. Navy in sixth. Alan Kay though jumps him. So Alan Kay jumps into sixth. Navy in seventh. Andy will be happy with that. He'll come across the line in eighth despite starting from second. Andy coming across the line in eighth. Gort across the line in ninth. Mays across the line in 10th after his disconnect. Unfortunate piece of disconnecting there. And Sean coming across the line to finish in 11th place. Hard, fair racing here in TTL F2. Not all of it at times clean, but certainly much better standards compared to what we've seen in Baku, certainly. The end here of the sprint race. Honey Badger takes the top step of the podium. Of course, these are official, unofficial results, and the results will be confirmed towards the end of the night, and we'll give you an update on the results next week as we go to the home of British Motorsport at Silverstone. Torridos plays in the background. Honey Badger taking the win on penalties. Fantastic win for Honey Badger. Lyronix unlucky with the penalties. We'll be happy with his performance though. And here are the results of the sprint race. Honey Badger then takes it from Lyronix in second, Siege in third, with Maximus in fourth, Afri fifth, Alan Kay in sixth, Navy in seventh, Andy in eighth, Gort in ninth, and Mays in 10th. They get the points as what you don't see on your screen. 9th and 10th do get points here. Sean in 11th. The only other one to finish, Casper and S. Grimm finishing. Let's take a look then at the weekend results. Lyronix getting 38 points, Afri gaining 29 points, Siege getting 22, Navy gaining 17, Honey Badger gaining 15, Maximus 12, Sean with 10, Casper, Andy, Alan Kay, Mays and S. Graham all gaining points respectively. Gort picking up 0 points here this weekend. Unfortunate, not picking up 0 points this weekend. Of course he has picked up points as a result of him finishing in the top 10 in the sprint race. That is it for TTL F2 here tonight. And on the day that Britain will go to the polls, Britain will be back next week for Silverstone, and we'll be back next week for TTL F2. You might see me on Thursday. It's not guaranteed that I'm going to be making it on Thursday, but I might be making it on Thursday for TTL F1. Kieran and Andy won't be here, so hopefully you'll have me in the commentary box at 8 o'clock. Maybe a little bit later if I'm running a little bit late. But thank you very much for watching and tuning in. And until next time, goodbye.